All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mike, the premier business radio program. I'm your host, Mike King. I appreciate you being here with me. The views expressed here are mine. I have no connection to, support of, agreement with any other host, information, or ads on the station. I don't work for the station. My program just airs here on a daily basis. So join me as our cutting edge show. We uplift the community and showcase RVA in a different way. You can follow me on social platforms on the Mike RVA as well as Mike King Biz. Hey, you know what time it is? Got a friend. My very first friend, Jenni Kirby of Crossroads Art, famous here. Welcome back, ma'am.
Thank you, Mike.
Alrighty, so you are here really quickly. Let's get the elevator pitch for Crossroads.
So Crossroads Art Center, we are in our 20th year. We represent over 250 local artists, and we sell their artwork, and we sell a lot of their art.
Right, and for people, how many square feet do you guys have?
We have 25,000 square feet.
So for people who don't know what that means, that's just big. That's a lot.
Big.
That's a supermarket.
Big. That's grocery store big.
There we go. Alrighty, so clearly you do not roll solo. You know some cool people. You go to all of the cool events, the hoity-toities, and all of those things right there. So who'd you bring with you today?
I brought Faithe.
Well,
Faithe Norrell, and she is one of my artists, but she also is at the Black History Museum of Art and Culture in Richmond, Virginia as well.
that place is pretty cool.
It is very.
It's straight up cool. I
It's-
mean, yes,
yes.
it is. Yeah.
So you know the history of the building? It was built in 1895 as the Lee Street Armory, and it was built to accommodate the 1st Battalion of the Black Militia. So it was the first known armory building built for Blacks in America.
That's why you come here, Jenni. Thank you.
That's why I bring the lady.
Thank you. That's the difference. So being from up north, there's history, but you know, you're not tied to history like it is when you come down south.
Well, you know, Virginia is just all about history, and Black history is America's history, and we really need to get those stories out. And so we at the Black History Museum and Cultural Center of Virginia, we have so many stories that inspire. We have stories that are untold and undertold and even forgotten. So we do hope that your listeners will buy some art and also come to the Black History Museum and Cultural Center of Virginia.
Alrighty, Jenni, we are here talking about the venture that you have, the Black History Month. Okay, explain what it is.
Okay, so we are in January opening a show for Black History Month.
Okay.
So it'll run through February, and it is exploring or honoring, celebrating Black History Month through art. So Faithe is one of the artists. She's actually going to be one of my premier artists on the postcard and all the press releases and all that good stuff with one of her pieces of art. And we're just getting the word out about the call for entries that goes until the 19th of December.
Alrighty. And so as I'm riding down the street minding my business, I see a license plate and it says Mosaic. Clearly, that's Jenni. I know it is. I know how she rocks. So, ma'am, what is your specialty?
Oh, mine.
Mhm.
Oh, yes, we know Jenny's is mosaic.
We know it. That's what her license plate says.
So I do mainly acrylic on canvas, but I also do wearable art. I'm wearing a pair of my leopard pants that I painted today.
Ooh.
So I have about 4 areas that I paint. I paint florals and cityscapes. I paint abstract, and I've been doing a lot of folk artish figures.
So when you start, you were always that kid who was drawing. That was you?
I actually
Shocking.
my
Shocking.
my mother was a teacher. So starting around 4th grade, she had me doing her bulletin boards, and that's when we kind of found out that
You had
draw.
something there.
Yeah, I had something. So, but I have never had a real art class other than the requisite high school art class.
Okay, so when you start, like Jenni, your thing is mosaic. What was your thing? And when you get your thing, how do you go from cityscape to pants? So, and the reason I say that is because creators are different.
Yeah.
Creators are, and so my youngest son is a creator, and that was everything from dancing to calligraphy. You know, it's a different type.
Yeah, so I'm a creative. I used to craft I used to do floral designs and centerpieces for different organizations. So I just have I create food. Like I'll never use a recipe. I use it only for the, fundamentals of what has to go in. And then I always tweak it or, move it around. So yeah, I'm just a creative. So what happened was
Exactly.
I started painting really for my sister. I had to stay with her one summer in DC when I was at Howard. And to just thank her, I did a painting.
Oh, shout out to you. Spent a lot of time up on Georgia Avenue.
Oh yeah.
Oh
me
yeah.
too.
That McDonald's there
Yes.
late at night. Let me tell you. Yeah, a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
I wound up staying in DC 15 years. So I really know DC. I grew up in DC. I really call that my second home because that's where I really, became an adult in Washington.
You
But
remember back in, I'm
But-
sorry. You remember back in the day they had like Colgates and
yeah. Oh my God.
So Jenny, these were the clubs. So these are the clubs right down by the water, and everybody who was anybody who wanted to be somebody were at those clubs.
The Gangplank.
Oh yeah, Phillips was down there.
Yeah. But it was such a funny thing because you'd show up and it'd be everybody, and then the next week you go and it was nobody because the crowd had just shifted to the next place.
It was different because everybody came from. So it's like what Richmond has turned into now. When I came here in 2014, baby, I'm not from here, and now it seems like I've been here forever because people who came here 2019, 2020, came after the pandemic. So the town seems to be changing, but it still is an artsy town.
It is
This
very
town
artsy.
is why do you guys think it's so much of a
VCU,
creative?
VCU, the VMFA, and just the creativity that just comes, I think, from living where water runs through it as well. I think you get creativity from being outside and got a lot of great outdoor spaces. So I think it comes from a lot of different places.
So, Faithe, when you finish with a piece, is it done then, or are you always
So that is so
tweaking
cool that
it,
you'll ask me that
messing with
question.
it, going back and eyeballing it again?
Some of both. So I will work on a piece, and I really like to take pictures of the evolution of a piece. So I'll start with just the background, take a picture of that, and then bring in another thing. And I will start with something and it'll end up totally different, even while I'm actively in it. Then there are some people, and then I always say, I let the canvas tell me when it's done. And it's so funny because I can be looking at the canvas, but when I take a photograph of it and look at it from a photograph, I'll say, oh no, that perspective is off. I've got to, change that line or do something a little differently. And then I'll leave some pieces. And I've had pieces for 3 or 4 years and they didn't sell or they didn't do anything in my house. They didn't do anything for me. I completely turn it around. The next thing you know, I've got a big winner.
Do you you're a teacher, correct?
I'm a retired teacher.
So shout out to Linda Bazuzzi. Like, what is it? What with you guys with teachers and creative artists and stuff like that?
It's in their blood and they just can't get it out. They can leave teaching, but they still can't. They got to be in the art scene though. They're still teaching.
But it's different. Do you work with multiple pieces at the same time?
I would love to. I was really good with clay in high school. But I took a couple of classes at Pine Camp in clay and my hands are arthritic. So I have to save them for what I'm really good at. So I just kind of had fun with clay, but I just can't really mold it anymore.
Alrighty, so let's talk about the event that's coming up. African American art. Let's talk about how that's important to you, and Jenny, how you got in. You always got your hand in the stuff.
I know. Well, for me, Crossroads is all about diversity.
Yes, it is.
And
You're taking some heat for that at times.
I'm taking some heat for that.
Yes,
There's not about it.
You're taking some heat.
Yes,
Because you obviously you believed in the diversity piece and standing up for stuff.
Exactly. And so what we have done over the last couple of years is highlight different ethnic groups. And, so we're doing Black history, but we've also done Asian Pacific. We've done Hispanic. We've done American Indian. We've done India from India. And so we are trying to pull the artists that are in those different groups into the art center to be able to expose people that are coming through the art center to different types of art. In the different ethnic types of art that there are in Richmond. And a lot of people just don't know that come through. They're like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that we had, this many Asian Pacific artists that are here in Richmond that we could put together a show for.
Okay.
So it makes people think of how diverse Richmond really is.
So I love that Jenny's been pulling in those artists from ethnic groups, but she's also had themes, like she had a Go Greek theme, and I entered a painting that sold in the Greek theme. Both of those paintings actually sold. And I'm not Greek, but I had a cityscape that looked like Santorini. Am I saying that right?
It did look like Santorini.
Yeah. So it's very cool. She had a white theme. So, it's all white or all orange or all red. So it's just very cool how she crosses so many lines and covers so many areas.
You try.
So this is On the Mic with Mike King here. Jenni Kirby, how can people find information about Crossroads Art Center?
You can find it at crossroadsartcenter.com. You can find that website, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok.
Who up in there doing a TikTok? You doing the TikTok videos?
No.
Oh.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
Well, I do.
Oh, but you got the Young Gun crew there.
Yes,
You
I
guys
do.
do, yeah. It's always, and I've been to Crossroads a million times. It is always that feeling that every time somebody comes here, they have the same look on their face, like, wow, and I didn't know this was back here.
Yeah. No, after 20 years, it's a bit crazy. It drives me crazy, but
You are behind the Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, behind the Krispy Kreme donuts off of Broad Street near Willow Lawn.
And you share the parking lot with
West End Antique Mall, Amir Rugs, Project One, and Remo Pharmacy, and the Holiday Inn.
already. What's the particulars for the event?
So the particulars for the call for entries are online. So you can do everything online between now and December the 19th. And then everything that is entered will be live and online starting January 20th. And that's the art opening from 5 to 8.
Yeah, shout out to my man Mark Bowen down at Westchester Commons. Hey, Mark Bowen, we're cool. I can change the date to come down there at another time. Don't worry about it, man. I got you. So hey folks, if you need to do some shopping, make sure you go to Crossroads Art Center. Also go down to Westchester Commons. They got a bunch of cool things down there and a bunch of retailers. So all the great things. Alrighty, ma'am, how can people find you out there?
So I have my own website, Art by Faithe. I'm on Facebook at Faithe Gnarl. I'm on Instagram, same thing. No, actually on Facebook is Faithe's Art, on Instagram under my name. And then I'm an online artist at Crossroads. So if you go to the Crossroads website, you type in my name. It looks like you're not typing in anything, but you put my name in and my art will come up.
Do you have an area?
Yes, I also have a wall that I rent.
Okay, where's your wall at?
So it's right straight down the front entrance.
Down the main highway?
Yeah, main highway, almost to the back on the right.
So her place is right where the show is going to be, or pretty close to where the Black History Month show will be.
Okay, there we go. So ladies and gentlemen, we are out there. We're going to go out and support them. So let everybody know who is an artist to submit their work. It is a great platform that's out there. Alrighty, ma'am, what's going on at the Black History Museum? What you got going?
We were celebrating our 40th anniversary. The Black History Museum was the brainchild of Carol Anderson in 1981. It took him about 10 years to amass a collection enough to open. We opened in 1991. And so our 40th anniversary is called Forging Freedom, Justice, and Equality. So that will run through the spring, April-ish. We always have our permanent exhibition with our touchscreen technology.
That is cool. I love
tells
that.
you really deep stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
we start with emancipation,
okay,
and then we go through the civil rights movement, and we have a timeline of Black history facts.
Is there a thing when you see the wow factor that gets people, that gets them every time? All right, what is it?
It's the timeline.
I know it.
It's the timeline.
It is the time. So when you guys, when they saw that, do you think that they knew what that was going to do?
You visitors?
Yeah.
No, they don't. I just tell them, touch the screen. The blue dots will tell you Virginia stories. The white dots will tell you stories from the nation and the world. And then the next thing I know, they're still there a half hour later, touching dots. Just amazed at all the information that's there. And then, we have a lot of rental space. And so we're always having rental events, or tonight we have, Robert Dortch, who climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. So he is going to do a talk tonight, and he has a pop-up exhibition of photographs that he took as he climbed the mountain.
Isn't that cool?
It is. Is it cool working at a?
It
So
is
I
so
asked
cool.
Bill Martin about working at a museum. It's kind of like, it seems like it'd be a really cool place.
So, I call it my retirement job, because I think in retirement, you always want to do something that you've always wanted to do, but, it didn't quite pay the bills, or, you're in a retirement plan or whatever. So now I'm doing the two things that I just always wanted to do, and that is paint and be at the Black History Museum and tell stories.
Okay.
We have such a really rich family history. My children are Maggie Walker's great-great-grandchildren. My grandfather was one of the founders of the Richmond Planet and the True Reformers. So my kids walk
I'll say
in
next to royalty.
just history royalty. So my kids get to walk in their ancestors' footsteps, and they are telling their stories.
What was so one of Maggie Walker's great granddaughter?
Great.
She used to she was an intern at NBC 12. What's her name?
Liza Micken.
Liza was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
that, that's funny, because now I'm known as Liza's mom. Liza's my daughter.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Small world, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Mom, you got a great kid. Yeah, I know. Straight
I've got
up.
two great kids. I've got a son in New York, and he's doing wonderful things, actually working for TikTok. And then my daughter is here, and she now works with Virginia Tourism, but she's got her hand in a lot
Liza
of
works for
things.
tourism?
She does. She works for Virginia Tourism.
Tell
She
her my
does
thing
something-
said, hey.
I will tell her that.
So it was funny. So when
Richmond, small world.
It is. And it's funny. So when she came to NBC, they're like, hey, we're going to have a couple interns. One was going to be, they're like, one is Maggie Walker's great granddaughter. And the other one is James Comey's daughter.
Yeah.
And they're like,
wow.
Exactly. This was different. Basically, leave these kids alone.
Yeah.
Whatever your views are, leave them alone. And everybody loved them.
Thank you.
Man, look at Jenni. Thank you.
You're welcome, my dear.
Yeah. Wow. It was fun. Okay, this is just off on a tangent right there, but it's my show. I can sort of do what I want to do. Yes. And it was funny. So when Liza was there and she was just getting started, and next thing you see her as the face of the statue and this movement, and and everybody's just like, man. I remember when Candace one time was just like, boy, Liza really has it.
So here's the funny thing. Liza came home after being at the station for about 2 weeks and said, Mom, I will not. She was a communications major at JMU. She's trying to figure out where she was going to go. And she said, I can't do the news. I said, Liza, you're a great on-air personality. You got the look, you're love talking to people. She said, I know, but I can't go from a murder scene or an accident scene and then go look at the puppy cam. I can't change my emotions up that fast. She said, but I tell you what, Mom, I'm not going to read the news. I'm going to be the news. I said, well, all right, Liza, I like that attitude. And sure enough, July 15th in 2017, she was the news, because she was unveiling the statue of Maggie Walker.
And then she was everywhere.
And she was everywhere. She was getting interviewed everywhere.
Wow, I am something now. I interviewed Liza's mom. Yo, on the mic with Mike King here. Yo, I've made it right now. Whoa, that's big. Okay, can we get back to what are we here talking about?
We're talking about Crossroads, Black History Month.
Not everything.
Exactly.
Talking about everything.
All righty, so we want artists to submit their work.
Yeah.
That's a definite.
We are looking for African-American artists to submit their work to Crossroads Art Center for the Black History Month show. That will happen in January, but we need to get that work in by the 19th of December.
So, Jenni, when you were doing, what was it, Asian Pacific, didn't a person want a question? They said, do I have to be
That was not that.
What was that? Which one was that one?
The LGBTQ show.
Oh,
Yeah.
They wanted to know
so
whether
that
they-
that was the one that, yeah, got quite controversial because they were not part of the LGBTQ or were, part of those. That they had a niece who was, so they wanted to submit a photo of their niece. And I'm like, well, it didn't quite work like that. We want you to be the artist to be part of the LGBTQ.
you see how everybody wants to be down with Crossroads Art Center?
And yeah, that was
Yeah.
yeah.
All righty. Jenny, Faithe, it's an honor. So we're gonna do something on the mic. Mike, you're gonna see these people back again on the program. We're out there always supporting. I always say Jenni Kirby, first person in Richmond who believed in Mike. I was just Mike King in those days. I was named Mike King Biz.
And I was like, Mike King, what do you want to do? And he's like, I want to connect people and do good. And I'm like, I'm in. What do we need to do?
That's true. That's what we do. All righty. So we got to run, as I always say, make sure you take care of our sponsors and advertisers. I don't work for the program. And so the way I'm able to be on is the sponsors like Jenny, like, hey, Jenny, I got an idea. And she writes a check to help me stay on. So which is always cool. We're out there supporting the community. These ladies are real rock stars in the community. I didn't know I was coming in meeting Liza's mom. Wow, this is something different. I gotta tell all the folks over there. Shout out to Amber. I gotta tell Amber. Amber Key was one of our other folks over there who were.
She loved that summer. She made such great friends with you guys.
Yeah, it was a cool
She
time.
really enjoyed
That was a
it.
magical summer. All righty, so on the mic, ladies, one last time, how can they find Jenni Kirby?
CrossroadsArtCenter.com.
There you go, Faithe. How can people find you?
artbyfaithe.com and on Instagram and Facebook.
All righty, on the mic, as I always say, please support our sponsors and advertise what you hear during the show because the microphone ain't free. Plus, my grandkids need stuff. So we got to go on the mic. We are the best in the business. We got to go. Take care now. Thank you.